You are interrupting, but let's try. So actually, the first question I was going to ask you, why? I mean, you seem like a young man. So why did you decide to pursue the second residency? And what was that main motivation behind getting the Plan B and the second residency? If you can tell us something about that.
I just like the idea of having diversification in where I can live in the world. I'm pretty nomadic, and so I like to just have options, more freedom in where I can go. There's the investment opportunity aspect of it is appealing as well to me, but there's also some tax incentives that are involved with starting a company in Panama, which is what I would like to do as well. And so there's more than one reason, but just having more options in where I can live, I think, is the main reason for me.
Yeah, that matters, especially when the world seems like it's falling apart. So it's kind of good to have that Plan B.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. So
That's true.
just
So,
having options is good.
so what made Panama to stand out comparing to some other countries that are also offering a second residency? So why Panama for you? Is it personal too, or like what was drawing you to Panama?
Yeah, there are other options, but I liked when I spoke with Ryan Palmer. I felt a really good connection with him, and in my gut, I felt that this was a good um, program.
Hmm.
This is also very easy. There are other options, but this one is also pretty cheap comparatively, comparing to some other programs that exist. Um, it's not too hard of a transition either. I can speak a fair bit of Spanish already, and Panama uses the dollar, and a lot of people there speak English, so it's a really pretty easy place, Panama.
They're also becoming crypto friendly, right? Or do you care about that? Or what's the situation with Panama?
Crypto was not a motivating factor for me, but yeah, I mean I don't think that that's a bad thing. Um, I think that I mean we could go down the rabbit hole about fiat currencies and all of that, but yeah, in general, I definitely agree with the sort of individual power of your own money rather than going in the other direction of government-controlled digital currencies, which I don't agree with. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, without going down that rabbit hole too much, I like that aspect, but it wasn't a super motivating factor for me individually.
Mhm. Okay. So I'm assuming the climate in Panama was one of the reasons that definitely drew you
Sure.
in.
Who
Why
doesn't
not?
like the beach?
Yeah, yeah. Whoever that is must be crazy person. So, uh, my third question would be, how did you even hear about the Teak investment model? What was so appealing about the Teak and diversification in that sense? So, what would be your answer?
Well, again, the residency for me was the biggest factor, but I like the idea of Teak because um, well, it seems to me that if there's a bad time in the market to cut down trees and sell them, then we could just wait. Versus something like oranges or another agricultural product, you kind of just get what you get. When it's time to harvest, it's time to harvest. And Yeah, so that to me that made more sense. I'm more of a long-term investor too, so the mentality with a couple of decades was not something for me it's not something difficult for me to wrap my head around. Um, yeah, I think I was watching some YouTube video years ago about different agricultural investments in Central and South America and these different
Mm-hmm.
countries. And it sort of led me down the rabbit hole of doing research about how to get residency in some places while also making an investment. Um, and ultimately, I came to Panama for Teak, and
Mm-hmm.
that was maybe about 4 years ago or so, and I'm finally just kind of getting around to it. So it's kind of been a long time coming for me.
Okay, so that's maybe my next question actually. What was the like process itself of getting that residency to TIC program? Did you expect it to be shorter, easier? Like how long did it take the entire process? What is realistic for people to expect when they go through this route through our company, particularly because that's one of the things we are doing?
Yeah, so for me, I've lived in a couple of different other countries, so I'm a bit more familiar with the bureaucracy of
Mm-hmm.
moving abroad and going through this process. But it can take as long or I think as short as a couple of weeks, really. But the big thing is collecting the documents in your own country
Mm-hmm.
first. I had to get a background check, and then I had to get that apostilled, and that can take a while, but you can pay a little extra money to
Mm-hmm.
have that process expedited.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's what I did because my work schedule is pretty erratic sometimes. I just had mine expedited, and I think that took about 4 weeks. And then I went down to Panama for 2 weeks, and I think that we got everything done in 1 week though, and I had my temporary provisional residency card from
Mm-hmm.
immigration. Um, we met with the lawyers who are helping us process all this paperwork, and then we went to the immigration's office. I was there for maybe an hour, got my photo taken, and got my temporary card. Came back to Panama. I think it was. I think it was more or less about 4 months later, 5 months later, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and got um, my non-provisional temporary residency card, however they call that, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really pretty simple. Um, And for me, it all worked out because I work seasonally. I'm pretty free in the winter. So I did almost all of it in the winter. So for me, that was easy. If you have a normal job, though, like a lot of people, then maybe it takes a bit more planning and it's a bit
Mm-hmm.
more involved with that. Um, so to go to Panama, so that was easy for me to. Some people would consider the time that would take to enter the country. I'm not sure what countries that might be, but for me, everything was all pretty smooth and fast.
So, how long the entire process took place? You said like 1 week in terms of the paperwork and applying, but when you get your residency, like a final verdict, when was it? Like how long it took?
So you first trip down there, the initial November and ready for me again end of February, more or less, right around there. So months roughly for the whole process to be over.
Sorry, I didn't hear because you were interrupting. How long?
Oh, 6 roughly for the whole process to finish.
Okay. Um, so what was your experience with Ryan and our entire team? Did you like it? Would you recommend people investing with us? What was your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I started talking with Eagle first through email, and there was quite a bit of dialogue between Joe and I before I
Mm-hmm.
actually made it down to Panama. And I had said that I would want to come to Panama to as an investor, I want to just check things out and go. And so that was all fine. We set that up with Ryan, and then I met Ryan. He picked me up, drove me out to Darien. We walked around all day, and I saw the trees and all processes, all stages of growth,
Mm-hmm.
and met a lot of the people that are working on the trees to help keep them to help keep the younger trees standing upright when there's
Mm-hmm.
heavy winds, and to
Mm-hmm.
help them just grow more properly. I learned a lot about the challenges that the trees face, especially when they're younger, but also as they get older. So I met a lot of the people working for the team, and learned a lot along the way. It's quite hot over there, so I would say if anybody else wants to go out there, to bring a lot of water. But it was a
Yeah.
great experience uh, from the beginning to the end.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. So, how does it feel now knowing that you have permanent access to Panama and one more country? Do you feel more free? What does it mean for you personally? Literally, how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Like I said, for me, it's been a long time coming. It's been something I've wanted to do for about the past 4 years. Um, so I feel to check that box off, and kind of start thinking about other things as well. I feel freed up in a way. Um, but also now I have access to banking tools. So I have a bank account there, and I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to, in the soon, start looking into property, and just continuing to invest in the country in other ways now too that were not previously an option before. So that's easier as well, and that feels really good too.
So, you're planning basically to live full time in Panama at some point, or?
I am setting up plan B sort of life. So to know that if I want to in the future. So as of right now, I'd like to start looking at some rental properties, things that I could rent out to tourists, and
Mm-hmm.
have a place that I could go to as well. If I want to just say, you know what, I'm going to disappear for a couple of years. I'm going to go to my house down in the jungle, and just kind of hang out there for a while. Right now, but I also have other places as well. So I have a boat that I actually live on when I'm not on projects, and that's in Spain. So right now I spend most of my time over there.
Wow, I'm planning to move to Spain this summer. Where in Spain?
My sailboat's in the Canary Islands.
Awesome.
It's it's a beautiful place, a great country as well.
Yeah. Okay, and the last question. So, what would be your message to people who are considering to do this, what you did? Because people are skeptical, of course. There is a lot of scam going on, and they don't believe that there is a possibility to get residency in such an easy and quite affordable way. So, as a living proof that you did it with us, any maybe message to people who are considering that?
Yeah, I totally understand the hesitancy. Like I said, since I've gone through the bureaucracy of moving to multiple other countries already, for me it was all familiar, and all pretty straightforward. Um, for example, I used to live in Germany, and it's far harder to get into that country than into
Mhm.
Panama. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's almost because it's so easy that is maybe what makes people uncomfortable with it.
And many
But
people don't even know. They all think it needs to happen through the purchase of the property, like a house or something like that. Very few people are actually familiar with their forestry residency program, which is what we offer and help people with. So it's really nice to get to know you and just to hear your story, so people can be sure that it's happening.
yeah, yeah, and I would say talk to Ryan, talk to everybody first, because the process is, if you just read online, you might think that you have to invest $100 or
Mm.
$200,000 to take advantage of this program. But the way that they have this all structured is, it's all legal, it all works. I have my card, and
So
it's
show
all
again.
it's all real. They make me look absolutely terrible in my photos, but it's absolutely real. And actually, the second time I came back to Panama, I used my provisional card to come in. So I actually came in as a resident already.
Oh, okay.
Just to test it, and make sure that it was all that everything was all good. And it actually works. I don't have my passport with me, or I'd show you the residency stamp they gave me when I came in.
Good. Well, David, thank you so much. I'm really grateful because we really just wanted to share one of the many stories we did. And I'm really grateful you did this with us. So thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure. And if there's anything else I can do to help answer any more questions, just let me know.